Yaurana and welcome to Tahiti. For many, the name alone brings images of paradise, turquoise lagoons, overwater bungalows, and palm-fringed beaches. And yes, those exist, but the real Tahiti is so much more.
We spent days exploring the island, from dawn at the bustling Papeete Market to road trips around hidden caves, waterfalls, and black sand beaches. We shared Sunday feasts with family, discovered local secrets most tours skip, and felt the mana, the spiritual energy that flows through Polynesian culture.
And at the heart of it all, the Heiva, a once-a-year celebration where dance, music, and ancient sports bring together not just Tahiti, but communities from all across the Pacific, from New Zealand to Rapa Nui, in a spirit of pride and cultural exchange.
This isn't the Tahiti you'll find in a brochure. This is the Tahiti you live, breathe, and carry with you long after you leave.
One of the best ways to dive into Polynesian culture is to start at the Papeete Market. That's exactly what we did on our very first morning. Here you'll find absolutely everything: souvenirs, pareos, pearls, and local crafts, but also stalls bursting with fresh vegetables, exotic fruits, fish, and ready-to-eat dishes. Even traditional magical potions, it's all here.
I couldn't resist starting with homemade coconut bread. And one of my favorite dishes, poulet fafa. And be warned, the definition of a small portion here is very different. This was meant to be a small plate. Mangoes. Sweet, juicy, melting in your mouth, an absolute treat.
To catch our breath, we stopped at Cafe Heiva upstairs. It's the perfect spot to sip coffee and enjoy lunch while looking down at the life of the market. Up there you'll also find little boutiques and jewelry shops with more refined and pricier handicrafts than downstairs.
But if there is one moment you can't miss, it's Sunday morning. At 4:30 a.m., yes, that early, the bell rings and suddenly the whole market comes alive. All the local farmers gather only on this day to sell their fresh products. The streets around the market are closed off and filled with colorful kiosks and stalls.
It's also the only time you can find the famous Rôti, braised pork chops that are absolutely worth trying. Here's a little insider tip. Yes, you can find Rôti all over the island, but the best one? Look for this guy at the market on Sunday morning. Trust me, it's worth it.
At exactly 9 a.m., the bell rings again and the market shuts down. If you're hunting for deals, stick around until the end. Vendors start dropping their prices because everything must go.
The Sunday market isn't just a feast for the eyes and the stomach. It's also music for the soul. Local songs, dancing, laughter, the whole atmosphere is filled with joy and life.
And since Polynesia is renowned for the richness of its ocean, of course we picked up some fresh fish to make homemade poisson cru with freshly squeezed coconut milk. The perfect way to end a morning at the market.
After the market, we slowed things down with a stroll along the waterfront toward Paofai Park. The walkway is beautifully designed, palm trees line the path, boats sway gently in the marina, and fish dart beneath the docks. As simple as it seems, it carries a sense of calm that immediately grounds you.
Inside the park, you'll find tropical plants representing the different archipelagos of French Polynesia, like a miniature botanical journey through the islands right here in the city. We stopped at Honu, a restaurant bar perched directly on the water, to enjoy a coffee with an unbeatable view of Moorea. With a sea breeze and the peaks in the distance, it was one of those moments where you just want time to slow down.
Back home, a traditional Sunday feast was waiting. On the table, fresh poisson cru with coconut milk, fried fish, taro, manioc, and ipo, that steamed coconut bread that instantly brought back childhood memories. And for the more adventurous, fafaru, a dish beloved here, but definitely a challenge for visitors. Of course, we nearly finished everything we had picked up at the market that same morning.
Then it was time for one of Tahiti's most popular adventures, the island tour. You follow the road that circles the island, stopping wherever the mood strikes, grabbing little bites along the way, and letting the landscape surprise you.
Our first stop was Mahana Park in Punaauia, a wide public park on the lagoon, perfect for swimming, snorkeling, or just stretching your legs under the trees. It even hosts Polynesia's annual fire walking ceremony.
Not far from there are the Maraa caves, grottos carved into the cliffs by erosion. The largest cave is filled with crystal clear water so dark it looks bottomless. Surrounded by ferns and moss, it's a peaceful, almost mystical spot. I usually swim there, but it was too cold that day. From here, little pathways lead you deeper into the site, where you'll find a second, smaller cave. The trail itself is worth slowing down for, shaded by lush greenery, creeping moss, and a cool touch of tropical ferns. It's the kind of refreshing pocket of nature that feels like a hidden garden, offering a moment of calm before heading back to the road.
Continuing along the coast, we reached Vaipahi Water Gardens. With lily ponds, waterfalls, and lush greenery, it's a quiet oasis where you can wander and recharge. What makes Vaipahi unique is how carefully it blends nature and culture. The trails wind through over 70 different plant species, many with signs that explain the traditional Polynesian uses, from medicine to daily life. Small waterfalls trickle into clear pools, and shaded benches invite you to pause and just listen to the sound of the water. It's more than just a garden, it's a living showcase of Tahiti's relationship with the land and its resources.
For big views, nothing beats the Taravao Plateau Viewpoint. From this elevated spot, you can see both the east and west coasts of Tahiti, and on a clear day, the panorama is unforgettable. What struck us most was the calm. Up here, there are no car horns, no traffic, just you and nature at the heart of Tahiti Iti. The silence is broken only by the wind moving through the grass and distant calls of birds. It feels like a pause button, a chance to breathe and take in the island's beauty from its quiet center. We also stop at Paisha Bridge, a local favorite for jumping into the river below. It's a thrill. Though you'll want to watch for cars, it's still an active road. Most tourists and even organized tours skip the spot. But if you really want to experience Tahiti like the locals do, you should definitely give the jump a try. And if you see locals hanging around, don't hesitate to reach out. They'll proudly guide you and make sure you get the full experience.
At Vaihi Waterfall, we cooled off in a natural pool beneath the falls, a small but beautiful cascade perfect for a refreshing pause. If you follow the steps on the left side, there is a beautiful hike along many more cascades.
One of our favorite walks was to the 3 waterfalls of Paofai. A short hike through bamboo groves leads to 3 cascades surrounded by birdsong and lush vegetation. The atmosphere is calm and serene, a place to really feel the mana of the island. At the entrance, you'll even find little kiosks selling exotic fruits. And of course, we couldn't resist stopping for those juicy mangoes again. It's a must.
The main path is easy and takes you straight to the biggest waterfall. If you're a bit more adventurous, a side trail leads you over a suspended bridge and deeper into the valley, where the other cascades hide.
Along the way, you pass through a rich variety of flora, towering bamboo, ferns, and lush greenery in every shade. It feels like a living garden, with each step revealing another layer of Tahiti's tropical beauty.
We had hoped to see the famous blowhole of Tiare, where waves shoot dramatically through a natural rock vent, but it was closed for safety reasons. Maybe you'll have better luck.
Toward the north coast, we reached Point Venus, one of Tahiti's most popular black sand beaches, and definitely my favorite. Families gather here to swim, picnic, and enjoy food from the local huts. The historic lighthouse makes it especially photogenic. Point Venus is also a place of history. This is where Captain James Cook came in 1769 to watch the transit of Venus, which is how the point got its name. Later, the HMS Bounty also anchored here, and a small memorial reminds visitors of that famous story.
Finally, we wrapped up at the Belvedere de Taravao. From this lookout in Mahana, you get one of the most stunning views in Tahiti, the city of Papeete below, Moorea rising across the sea, and the coastline stretching on both sides. It's the perfect place to end the day, watching the light fade as the sun sets over the Pacific.
Tour may sound simple, but it's the best way to experience Tahiti's soul. One stop, one surprise, and one memory at a time.
Tahiti isn't only about beaches and waterfalls. The true soul of the islands is found in its culture, and there's no better way to experience it than the annual Heiva festival.
Held every July, Heiva is the biggest celebration of Polynesian tradition, bringing together the best of dance, music, and ancient sports. It's a time when communities come alive, competing with pride and passion.
Some of the competitions can only be seen during Heiva. Paddling races across the lagoon, fruit carriers sprinting with baskets twice their size, athletes lifting enormous stones, spear throwing, and even climbing coconut trees in record time. These aren't just sports, they're the living traditions, a link to the strength and endurance of the ancestors.
And what makes it even more special is that Heiva isn't just about Tahiti. Athletes and performers from across the Pacific, from New Zealand to Rapa Nui and beyond, come together here. It's a celebration of Polynesian heritage shared across oceans. A beautiful spirit of sportsmanship and cultural exchange fills the arena, reminding everyone that these traditions are part of a much bigger story.
And of course, the dancing. While you can see Tahitian dance shows in hotels year-round, nothing compares to the Heiva stage. Hundreds of dancers in spectacular costumes, moving as one to the beat of drums. It's not just a performance, it's a ceremony filled with mana, the spiritual energy of Polynesia.
If you're visiting Tahiti, make sure to check the exact dates online. Heiva usually takes place throughout July, and it's an experience you'll never forget.
That's our journey through Tahiti. From markets to road trips to the magic of Heiva, we hope this guide inspires you to dive deeper, explore further, and connect with the mana of these islands.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and let us know in the comments what part of Tahiti you'd love to see for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapters of our French Polynesia adventure. From Moorea to Huahine, Raiatea, Taha'a, and even the Tuamotu atolls.
Marururo.
Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next one.